All right, so today we are diving deep into the official investment pitch from Thailand's Board of Investment. We're going to deconstruct the exact arguments and the data they're using to try and convince the entire world that they are the next big economic hub in Asia.
You know, it's the big question every ambitious country has to ask itself. Well, the Thai government thinks it has a pretty compelling answer, and it all boils down to three key pillars: geography, economic power, and a serious vision for the future. Let's see how they make their case.
You know, every great pitch, it really boils down to one single powerful idea. So first up, let's look at the one central claim that Thailand wants everyone to remember.
And here it is. Simple as that. One single, super ambitious goal. It's bold, it's incredibly clear, and literally every single data point we're about to look at is designed to back this one statement up. This is the bedrock of their entire argument.
Okay, first up, what they consider their biggest strategic asset: location, location, location. And the way they tell this story is really by zooming out layer by layer, building their case with four key numbers.
So they start right at home, with their foundation, a solid domestic market of 66 million people.
But then, they immediately expand the view. See, they're not just an island. They're connected to the fast-growing CLMV subregion. That's Cambodia, Laos, Myanmar, and Vietnam, which adds another 181 million consumers right on their doorstep.
And then we zoom out even further to the entire ASEAN Economic Community. All of a sudden, Thailand is sitting right in the middle of over 670 million people in an integrated market.
But here's the real kicker, the grand finale of their geographic pitch. With this strategic position, they have access to a mind-blowing 4.8 billion people. We're talking nearly half the world's population. Now that is what you call a sweet spot.
Okay, so you've got this amazing location, right? But what good is it if nothing's actually moving? Well, this is where Thailand's pitch puts its trade numbers front and center to show they're not just a spot on the map.
And this is their proof. Over $600 billion in international trade. The message here is pretty clear, right? They're not just connected to the global supply chain, they are a huge, active engine within it. This isn't some future potential, this is what's happening right now.
And what's really interesting is what they're exporting. This isn't just one thing. It's a whole mix of really high-value goods. We're talking cars, computers, jewelry, you name it. What this shows investors is a super diverse and capable industrial base that can handle shifts in the market.
So, who are their dance partners in all this? Well, if you look at this, you can see it's really strategic. They're playing the field, you know? They have strong ties with the big superpowers like China and the US, but also with regional giants like Japan, and of course their immediate neighbors in ASEAN. They're not putting all their eggs in one basket. All right, so this is where the pitch takes a really important turn. They're essentially saying, look, we know our strengths in manufacturing are huge, but we're not just stopping there. They're making a big play for the future. A digital future. And they've got a name for it. Thailand 4.0. And look, this is not just some catchy marketing slogan. It's a real, formal, national plan to completely transform their economy. The whole idea is to shift from being based on heavy industry to being driven by technology and innovation. And this is how they framed that journey. It's pretty smart, actually. They showed this clear four-step evolution, from agriculture all the way to this new digital economy. By doing this, they make the whole thing seem less like some crazy leap of faith and more like the natural, logical next step in their national development.
Okay, so talk is cheap, right? This is where they put their money where their mouth is. These are the actual projects on the ground. Massive stuff like the Eastern Economic Corridor, or EEC, and big national policies like Cloud First. This is their way of proving that Thailand 4.0 is way more than a slogan. It's a funded, national priority. Okay, let's get down to brass tacks. This is the final piece of their pitch, the practical, on-the-ground stuff. What's it going to cost you, and who are you going to hire?
This chart just says it all, doesn't it? It makes a really simple but powerful point about getting more for your money. I mean, look at the cost of prime office space in Bangkok compared to places like Singapore or Tokyo. It's a fraction of the price. For any company, that's a huge boost to your bottom line, right from day one.
But you might be thinking, okay, it's cheaper, but what about the talent? And that's exactly the point they address next. They make it clear that competitive cost doesn't mean you're sacrificing skills.
In fact, they highlight low-wage inflation right alongside a massive national push for STEM education and training in hot fields like AI and robotics.
So after all of that, the location, the economy, the digital vision, what's the closing argument? How do they tie it all together to convince the world's biggest companies? Well, they go for one of the most powerful tools in any pitch: social proof.
And this quote really says it all. It's the classic closer. The message they're sending to any potential investor is basically, hey, you're not taking a gamble here. You won't be the first one. The biggest companies in the world, they're already here. It's a really smart way to take their pitch from just a plan on paper to a proven, de-risked opportunity.
And really, that's the billion-dollar question on the table for global investors, isn't it? The argument is laid out. You've got the incredible location, the powerful economic engine, that forward-looking digital ambition, and a really compelling value proposition. Now we just have to watch and see if this big bet truly cements Thailand as the undisputed economic hub of Southeast Asia.